self-care dynamic of actually like, so I haven't had a haircut.
Yeah.
And now I obviously get my hair braided, but I haven't been to a barber shop in
30 years.
16, 17, man, it hasn't been that long. My uncle was a barber too. But my
That's
uncle's
right.
getting all the shout outs,
My
right?
uncle
So
too. My uncle
yeah,
George.
that's right. So when I would go back to Brooklyn, your Uncle George is in Silver Spring, right?
Yep.
Or was it okay? I was like, or was that a guy in the barbershop? Okay, got you. Yeah. So my uncle barber in Crown Heights for many, many years, and like his whole life, and fantastic at it. But my uncle taught me how to cut my own hair, and now obviously not getting haircuts, but it was like just shape ups. And I would remember when I would tell y'all about things that I had learned from my uncle, like, man, you got to push the blade up on the T outliner because that's how you get sharp.
You did it from my T outliner.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
right. And that was one of the biggest things, which I didn't realize growing up, and probably didn't even realize to this moment how integral that was to my self care. And then even that exchange with your barber, right? Like allowing someone else to take care of you in that moment. And as a man, you're really only about one bad haircut away from being ugly. Like at any given time, man.
Hey, that's a fact.
It's a thing, right? So I guess what I'm saying is like realizing I hadn't been in the barbershop in so long. Can you talk more about your experience and why that's so important to you as a man and possibly to all Black men, that barbering as our self-care?
That's a safe space, man. I think as Black men specifically, we don't have very many safe spaces for us to kind of go and, have a conversation with other men, really. The barbershop, before we could afford therapy, the barbershop was a therapeutic place. You're being pampered, right? This is a grooming. So, you're getting your hair cut, you're having conversations about what other men are either going through or they need advice, or, we're talking about sports or whatever it is. But it was a safe place for us to be able to kind of relax and not have to put on airs and not have to be on the defense all the time. So yeah, I actually enjoyed, and I spent a lot of time in a barbershop. But for a lot of my life, as I mentioned, my Uncle George has been a barber, and in fact, my hair is how he trained how to be a barber to get his license. So, I never had to worry about getting a haircut. I mean, he was kind of always there. But I do love the fact that your uncle taught you how to cut your hair because it allowed you to perform a level of self-care for yourself, right? Which is dope. Like it took it out of someone else's hands. If you felt like you needed that cut, you were fully capable and competent enough to be able to do that yourself. So
and back to the being ugly thing, you live and die by your own hand in this, right? Like my life has been in bad haircuts were all on me. I didn't pay for them.
But you could always be mad at yourself though. You can't, you know what I'm saying?
But I knew myself. So even it's funny because that, when I go, so one, I was in art school, so obviously I can draw self-portraits because I just had to study me for some of those things. But also because cutting your hair, you use a mirror around your entire form and behind your head and all of that. So I've really learned myself to a point where I can just draw me very quickly now because I've looked at myself over. So even this idea of baldness could never sneak up on me.
Yeah.
Right? It's a lot of brothers that don't know it's time to let it go.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, man, did your barber not tell you? Because where you're thinning and all that, where you kind of hit a little comb, it could never sneak up on me. So that's one other benefit. But then also just this idea of you hit me in that moment of just being in the barbershop, and I do miss it. I miss it from the conversations, but I spent so much time there. It's almost exclusively where I spent time with my uncle, and it was hours on end while he's in it. And then I watched how he left, and when he went to go sustain, I even watched what self-care looked like for him in the moments away from the barbershop. I don't think I will share on air what some of those moments look like for him, but
he sent me to the corner store to go get something to drink or go to the Jamaican spot, pick up a patty. I was playing.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
No, go ahead.
I was to your point. My uncle's barbershop was on Cortelyou in Argyle, right, in Brooklyn, and I remember they had Marvel versus Capcom. So I spent a lot of time in that barbershop playing
video
the
games
arcade.
In the joint? We didn't have any video games, man.
So we
just watched a lot of Jamaican content on the. And my uncle's not Jamaican, but the barbershop was owned by Haitian and Jamaican.
Oh yeah, so, my uncle's first barbershop was owned by a Jamaican owner.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man, it's Crown Heights.
I mean, it's Brooklyn.
Yeah. So, but that's all it was with just that stuff on TV. I remember we had the no rap music before a certain time rule, and this is I just learned this week how much haircuts cost now. So y'all,
really
I legitimately have not paid for a haircut as much time as Ryan was in prison, I have not paid for a haircut. 17 years. So I did some math at one point in time, and I had saved like $15,000 over the years until I just found out that my inputs into that model were wrong.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to Reggie the other day, and Reggie told me
you're getting New York haircuts.
But even the time, like this time value of money. So haircuts now cost $50, Reggie told me. And I was like, what?
They cost $50. In Atlanta, it costs a little bit more because in New York, my barber was Dominican, and
New York is a perfectly competitive market, though. There's too many barbershops.
That's right.
You can't charge.
And price is the driver, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't.
Yeah, it's economics.
You price yourself out of the market.
Yeah.
So I paid $25, but like I'd give him $35 just off top because I felt like it's cheap.
I'm reminded right now that Nick does not tip his barber.
Still be having haircuts too, man. I don't even know how that works.
What he say? I practically paid a rent on his chair. Like, I'm there every week. But if it's $50 every week, I'm kind of I hear you now, right?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
That's an interesting thing.